Today's video is sponsored by Artlist. Hey guys, Flo from Move to Lens here. I'm a French-Australian filmmaker based in French Alps, and today we're talking about what's in my camera bag. We'll talk about the filmmaking gear that I use the most. These are the items that I rarely leave behind when going out on a shoot. It doesn't mean that they're the ones that I prefer, but rather the most useful ones for my kind of work. Before I start, don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this one, and let's get into it. I know this kind of video is popular on YouTube, but a lot of the time I found them to actually be a non-realistic version of someone's kit, as they feature basically everything they own. With this video, I want to show you the gear that always comes with me and that is actually in my bag. Every shoot is different, of course, especially when it comes to documentary filmmaking, but there are some items that suit pretty much all projects and items that I take with me all the time just in case. The bag. First of all, the bag. As you know, I'm a big fan of Wandered and have been for a few years now. The bag that I use the most is the Provoke 31 liter. It is a bag that I take on documentary shoots, travel, and sometimes even for personal use. It is super comfy, sturdy, and has heaps of room. All the gear we'll talk about in this video fits in it. Feel free to watch my Wandered reviews for more specific info. Of course, I will use my 41 liter or even my Pelican if it's a bigger shoot like a multi-day documentary project or a shoot that requires a larger lighting kit, for example. The camera. Up until recently, the camera that never left my bag was a BMPCC 6K. Now that I own the Pro, I tend to use it a lot more since it allows me to take even less accessories with me thanks to the internal NDs, better battery life, and a tilt-in brighter screen. That being said, it is still the same camera. I use a BMPCC 6K for documentary and commercial work, licensing, and even travel content. Lenses. After the camera, lenses are arguably the most important part of a kit. Whilst I own several lenses from Canon stills ones to vintage Contax Zeiss primes, there are two that I always bring with me no matter what. The first one is a Canon 16-35 f4 IS. This is my go-to lens for documentary, travel, and pretty much any kind of content, especially outdoors. It's light, has IS, is weather sealed, and is small. The second one is a Sigma 18-35 1.8, which I mainly use for indoor, interviews, or low light situations. If you're wondering why I use both, I recently made a video about my favorite lenses where I explain the reasons. The monitor. Next is a Small HD Focus 7. This is a monitor that I've been using for about a year now and I love it. It's light, bright, sharp, and the battery lasts forever. Paired with a 6K makes for a very comfortable shooting experience. I recommend it to anyone shooting a lot of content outdoors or for people needing that extra screen real estate without breaking the bank. ND. I use all sorts of ND filters, cinema ones, variable ones, but the one that I carry with me all the time is a Tiffen 77mm 0.9. This is the value that I've been using since I first got my original pocket back in 2014, and I find it to work for 90% of the time for me. It usually lives at the end of my 16-35 f4 and it's super cheap and very light. The mic. Audio is important. I always bring a shotgun mic with me. I do have a larger and better quality Sennheiser, but the Rode Video Mic NTG is small, light, and has a useful gain control knob at the back. The only time I don't carry a mic is for personal or travel content. SSDs. I always carry at least one SSD with me. Most of the time it is a Samsung T5, but I also use the SanDisk Extremes. They are both very light, affordable, and durable. Not only I use them for backup and to quickly transfer data, but also in the event of my internal media being full or malfunctioning. Media. Speaking of media, I have been using my Wyze CFast cards since I got my BMPCC 4K back in 2018. I much prefer to shoot with internal media since it means no cables and no extra mounting accessories. I have a few 500 gigs ones and a couple of 1 tera ones. Aperture MC. This tiny but versatile little light is always in my bag. You never know when you might need it. I can use it as an actual light as part of a lighting kit, of course, but also when it gets dark to look into my bag or my car, etc. Now a quick word about today's sponsor. Artlist is a website where you can find musics and sound effects for your projects. As always, I wouldn't tell you guys to use something if I didn't use it myself. I've been using it every week for nearly 3 years now. What attracted me to Artlist in the first place is their 1 subscription, 1 universal royalty-free license, and unlimited song download system. I've already made a dedicated video about it, so feel free to check it out. And don't forget to use the link in the description to get an extra 2 months when you subscribe to Artlist. Battery. The Core SWX power-based battery rarely leaves my bag since it gives me nearly 3 hours of shooting with my BMP-CC 6K. I find it hard to go back to using internal batteries, especially for actual paid projects. For travel and personal content, I usually carry a bunch of Canon batteries for the 6K. Recently though, using the 6K Pro has been amazing since the NPF batteries last much longer and I can shoot for nearly 3 hours with just 3 of them. And we need around 5 Canons for the regular 6K. Peak design straps. A question I get asked a lot is what are those tiny red things on your cage or camera? They are the anchors for my Peak design straps. I can't recommend them enough. I have 3 sizes and often change between my 6K, 6K Pro and the EOS R. They are very comfortable and can actually help when shooting handheld too. Having the ability to detach and swap them in a matter of seconds is ridiculously handy. Cage, top handle. I never take off my Smori cage, whether it is for the 6K or the Pro. It protects the camera and of course adds mounting options, but I actually found holding the cameras easier and more comfortable with the cage than the camera's body. Most of the time I will also have the top handle. The rest. Now here are a few items that I always take with me anywhere I go with my kit. This card holder by Incase. It fits my CFast, SD and microSD cards and can easily slide into any part of the bag. I also carry around this little rocket blower, super handy while shooting outside to get rid of the dust on your lenses or camera. And of course, a small cloth to clean lenses or the camera screen. That's it for me for today guys. Hope you have enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. Let me know as well in the comments what are the items that you never leave without. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.